Hi everyone, welcome to Appliance Advisors. I'm Francesco, joined as always by my co-host Dennis. Today we're going to talk about aesthetics in an induction cooktop. Now we've done a similar episode when it comes to gas cooktops. And again, we said this before, but as appliance nerds and when we're talking to customers, we focus so much on the brands and the wattage and power sharing and the boost and all these features when it comes to these induction cooktops. But sometimes really the most important decision for you as a customer is the aesthetics and how you're going to use that. And really to start off, one of the most important things for you to consider is the control placement. So how all the time you're going to be interacting with this induction cooktop. Any thoughts there, Dennis?
We're really between three of the more common styles you could find. So the first one in front of Fran is just, it doesn't look like it has controls. It's essentially glass, blacked out. But when you hit one center button, it kind of illuminates on and your controls are really backlit and you go. This one in the middle is a Fisher-Paykel. This one actually has etched, if you will, always on controls. You kind of see the slides and that's how these work. In the Miele, it's more you're tapping up and down to get 1 through 10 or high, medium, low. Here in the Fisher-Paykel, you're turning it on and you can really slide your finger left to right, almost like you would on an iPhone or something to control it. Some people like that. And then over here, we have another one that is more in a semicircle, 3/4 circle. Same kind of concept. It's kind of muted into the color, but it is exposed. And then there's variations all along the wall. So really where I'm going with this is you want to think about a few things. Is the ability to see the power and kind of use your finger to slide the power up and down something that you like and you should try? Is it that you want to see the number 1 through 10 and really kind of tap and that's fine for you? And as much aesthetically, do you want to see the controls or not? That's kind of an overview of controls.
Yeah.
And then again, placement, right?
Absolutely. That's what I was going to say too. And that placement too, some brands like, well, we don't have it right here in front of us, but a Wolf will have kind of the controls away and kind of in the corner that allows you to control the whole cooktop. So you have all your full kind of burners and your elements really here that are able to kind of be used without having the controls in the middle. So really a personal preference when it comes to that. But then there's a lot more to consider when it comes to aesthetics. So one right off the bat, again, color. So you can see we have this one that's a shiny black. This is kind of more of a textured black. You have kind of a textured gray there. So there's a lot that have different colors. And, is that purely aesthetics? Not always. So sometimes they can be easier to clean. Sometimes they hide the dirt a little bit better if you have some texture there, whereas something more shiny will show more fingerprints, will show dirt on there a little bit easier. So kind of sometimes they'll tell you with that texture, actually hides it a little bit more. So maybe you don't have to go so crazy, making sure it's always clean and there's no fingerprints on there. And there's color. So certainly it's a preference, but they do kind of have a reason a lot of times to go with that color or that texture also.
Yeah, and I would tell you that half of cooking is cleaning. And I really strongly, I'm a big proponent of, I hate flat black glass without any movement or any etching in it. No different than you would if you go and shop counters, right? They're generally going to tell you some striations or some movement in the counters help, or same with carpets. If you just have a white carpet, well, it's going to show everything.
Absolutely.
That when you bring other colors into it, it kind of distracts the eye from seeing the dirt on the daily. That I think, flat black glass shows dust. It's not even dirt, it's dust just naturally in your air. So I tend to have people think about that. The other thing that I would tell you is you're noticing right here, edging, okay? So there are multiple ways to install a glass cooktop. This one here has stainless steel banding all the way around it. Some people just like that. They like that it's prominent. And some people have a strong opinion about, will dirt get into those crevices? Well, no, I like that the stainless steel makes kind of a hard edge. There's other pieces like this Fisher-Paykel that has black glass all the way around. And you could actually recess this to be totally flat so that it's seamless into the counters, okay? And then over here in this GE Cafe we happen to be in front of, it's kind of the best of both worlds here. Glass on the left and right, but it does have some steel banding front to back. And even there, when I say that, understand that within the brands, there's generally a lot of decisions within there. You could, if you were with Fisher-Paykel, they have multiple ways the cooktop looks and banding comes. Same with Miele, same with Wolf. So you can kind of play around, but they're just things that hopefully will help make a buying decision a little easier for you.
Absolutely. And kind of the last thing to consider when you're talking about aesthetics, again, just similar to a gas cooktop, it's really the placement of those elements in the burners that you're going to be using. They're all a little bit different. Some, like this Fisher-Paykel, has kind of that your one big round element on the side, and then what they call bridge burners, where your 4 burners kind of on the opposite side. Some have it kind of more looks like a traditional gas range too, where you might have 2 circle burners on each side and your big kind of center burner in the middle there. So really they're all different, and a lot of that really comes down to preference and how you cook and what you cook and what types of pots and pans that you're using.
There's even one that doesn't have burners per se.
Absolutely.
A Thermador Freedom, where the whole top is kind of open to use, if you will, and it shares the power based on the pots and where they're placed. So we did this when we compared gas, cooktops and knob placement, all the rest of it. So you got to pick a favorite. Where do you go?
I go Fisher-Paykel. Again, I'm a fan of having kind of the big center on all the way to the, not your center, but more your big kind of round burner to the side, and then everything else kind of on the opposite side there. I like the separation there. I'm a fan of that.
While not shown, I will tell you unequivocally, the favorite should be, sorry friend, but is a Wolf.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's intuitiveness of it controls, the cleanliness of design. It's been the #1 really since Jump Street. It has all the different options for edges and not edges, colors, but moreover than anything, and we didn't talk about it here, I think induction across the board is phenomenal. And generally speaking, it'll always outperform gas, but that Wolf, just tried and true. I've tested against everything. Nothing can beat it. In a speed test, it checks all the boxes. And it's actually, as much as we think a Wolf is the premium, its price points are actually well done comparative to most anyone.
And I will say that the knob or the control placement on that Wolf is great too, where it kind of tucks it away in the bottom corner. So you kind of just hides that away, and then you have the full surface for really cooking only. So
go to your store, try them out, test them live, bring your pots and pans, think about controls, think about cleanup, and have fun.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And don't forget to follow us on social media for appliance tips and updates from Yale Appliance.
Your feedback is what shapes our series. Like what you saw, give us a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you.
Stay informed and inspired on all your appliance needs. This is Appliance Advisors signing off.